She was the HOA president, respected, feared. Everyone in the neighborhood did exactly what she said. Then she did something that crossed a line, something so cruel that it shocked the entire community.
She targeted a 7-year-old child.
She publicly humiliated him. She tried to destroy his family. But someone was watching. Someone recorded everything. And when that video went public, she was arrested within 24 hours. What happened next shocked everyone. Like and subscribe right now because this story will make your blood boil. This is about an HOA president who abused her power in the most disgusting way. This is about a community that finally stood up. This is about justice being served. Don't miss this. Subscribe now. Her name is Victoria Price. She's 58 years old. She's been the HOA president of Sycamore Ridge community for 9 years. 9 years of absolute control. 9 years of nobody questioning her decisions. Victoria runs the neighborhood like it's a dictatorship. She has rules for everything. What color your house can be. What kind of mailbox you can have. What type of flowers you can plant. How often you can water your lawn. Everything is controlled. Most people follow her rules. They're afraid of the fines. They're afraid of the legal action she threatens. They're afraid of her, but not everyone is afraid. There's a family named the Johnsons. They moved to Sycamore Ridge 6 months ago. David Johnson is a software engineer. His wife, Michelle, is a teacher. They have 2 children. Emma is 9 years old. Tommy is 7 years old. The Johnson family is nice. They're friendly. They wave at neighbors. They keep their property clean. They do everything right. But they have one thing that bothers Victoria. One thing that makes her furious. They have a treehouse, a simple wooden treehouse that David built for the kids. It's in their backyard. It's not visible from the street. It's completely on their property, but Victoria doesn't like it. She says it's an eyesore. She says it violates the neighborhood aesthetic. She says it needs to come down. The Johnsons say no. They say it's on their property. They say it's safe. They say their kids love it. They say they're not taking it down. Victoria doesn't accept the word no. She's never had to accept it before. Victoria sends the Johnsons a violation letter. She gives them 30 days to remove the treehouse or face a $500 fine. The Johnsons decide to fight it. David hires a lawyer. The lawyer reviews the HOA bylaws and tells David that the bylaws don't actually say anything about tree houses. The bylaws don't prohibit them. Victoria is making up rules. David sends a letter to Victoria explaining this. He sends it certified mail so there's a record of it. Victoria receives the letter. She's angry. Nobody has ever challenged her like this before. She decides she's going to make the Johnsons regret this. One Saturday morning, Victoria shows up at the Johnsons' house. David is at work. Michelle is inside the house. Tommy and Emma are playing in the treehouse. Victoria walks into the backyard without permission. She walks right up to the treehouse. Tommy! Emma! She shouts. Get down from there right now! The children are confused. They don't know this woman, but her tone is so aggressive that they climb down. This is not safe, Victoria says loudly. She's making sure Michelle can hear her from inside the house. You children could get hurt. Your parents are irresponsible. They don't care about your safety. They let you play in this death trap. Tommy starts crying. He's 7 years old. He doesn't understand why this woman is yelling at him. Emma tries to comfort her brother. She looks at Victoria. My dad built this. It's safe. He's a good builder. Your father is a negligent parent, Victoria says. And you children need to understand that. You need to understand that you're not safe here. Your mother and father don't care about you. Michelle hears everything. She runs outside. She's furious. Get off my property, Michelle says. Leave right now. I'm talking to your children about their safety, Victoria says. Someone needs to. You're clearly failing as a parent. Leave. Now, Michelle says again. She's shaking with anger. Victoria leaves, but she's not done. 2 days later, the Johnsons' doorbell rings. It's a police officer. He says he received a call from the HOA president reporting that there are children in an unsafe structure. He says he needs to inspect the treehouse. David, who is home this time, is shocked. But he cooperates. He takes the officer to the treehouse. The officer looks at it carefully. He tests the boards. He checks the railing. He looks at the ladder. This is fine, the officer says. This is completely safe. Whoever called this in was wrong. David knows it was Victoria, but the damage is done. Tommy has had nightmares since Victoria yelled at him. Emma is anxious about playing in the treehouse now. The family's peace has been disrupted, and Victoria isn't finished. She calls Victoria again. She leaves a voicemail for David at his work number. She tells him that his children are in danger. She tells him he's a bad parent. She tells him she's going to call Child Protective Services. David reports this to the police. The police tell him this constitutes harassment. They tell him they can document it, but then something happens. A neighbor named Sarah, who lives next door to the Johnsons, has had enough. Sarah has seen how Victoria treats people. Sarah has been bullied by Victoria too. But what Victoria did to the Johnson children was different. That was crossing a line. Sarah sets up a hidden camera in her yard that can see into the Johnsons' backyard. She's not recording anything private. She's just recording the shared space between the two properties. She's setting up evidence in case Victoria comes back. 3 days later, Victoria does come back. This time, Tommy and Emma are playing in the treehouse again. Victoria walks into the yard and looks up at them. "You children are being abused," Victoria yells. "Your parents are hurting you by putting you in danger. I'm going to make sure you're taken away from them. I'm going to make sure you're put with people who actually care about you." The children are terrified. Tommy starts crying again. He climbs down from the treehouse. "You're not safe here," Victoria continues. "Your father is a bad man. Your mother doesn't love you. They're only keeping you because they want the money from the government." Sarah is watching from her window. She sees everything. She hears everything. Because her camera is recording and her back door is open, Sarah runs outside. "Stop," Sarah says. "Stop right now. You need to leave. This is HOA business," Victoria says. "I have the right to enforce neighborhood standards." "You have no right to verbally abuse children," Sarah says. "And I recorded all of it." Victoria's face goes white. She realizes what she's done. She realizes there's evidence. She turns and walks away quickly. Sarah immediately goes to the Johnsons' house. She shows them the video. David and Michelle watch it. They see Victoria yelling at their children. They see her telling them they're being abused. They see everything. David calls the police. He plays them the voicemail Victoria left. He shows them the video Sarah recorded. He shows them documentation of all the harassment. The police detective, a woman named Lisa Morgan, listens to everything. She's horrified. She's seen a lot of things in her career, but deliberately traumatizing children is something that crosses a line. "This is child abuse," Detective Morgan says. "This is harassment. This is emotional cruelty. We're going to press charges." Detective Morgan goes to Victoria's house with a warrant. She arrests Victoria for child harassment, reckless endangerment, and making terroristic threats toward minors. Victoria is shocked. She doesn't think she did anything wrong. She thinks she was just enforcing HOA rules. She doesn't understand that what she did was a crime. At the police station, Victoria tries to explain. "I was just trying to protect the children," Victoria says. "That treehouse is dangerous. You were verbally abusing children," Detective Morgan says. "You told them their parents didn't love them. You told them they were in danger. You threatened to have them taken away. That's child abuse. The case goes to the district attorney." The DA looks at the evidence. The voicemail, the video, the documentation of previous harassment. The DA decides to prosecute. The case goes to trial in November 2024. The courtroom is packed. The neighborhood shows up. They want to see justice. They want to see Victoria held accountable. Sarah testifies about the video. She explains what she saw and heard. She explains why she recorded it. Tommy and Emma testify, with support from a child advocate. They explain how Victoria's words made them feel. They explain the nightmares. They explain the anxiety. David and Michelle testify about the impact this has had on their family, about the fear, about the emotional damage. Victoria's lawyer tries to defend her. He says she was just doing her job as HOA president. He says she was concerned about child safety, but the judge isn't buying it. The judge looks at Victoria. "You used your position of power to intimidate and emotionally abuse children," the judge says. "You made threats. You made false accusations. You caused real harm. This is not about HOA enforcement. This is about cruelty." Victoria is found guilty on all charges. She's sentenced to 60 days in jail and 1 year of probation. She's ordered to pay $25,000 in restitution to the Johnson family. She's banned from serving as HOA president ever again. The neighborhood erupts in applause. For the first time in 9 years, someone has stood up to Victoria and won. What we learn from Victoria's story is important. First, power corrupts people who don't have accountability. Victoria had power over the neighborhood for 9 years with nobody checking her. Nobody questioning her. Nobody saying no. That lack of accountability let her believe she could do anything. That she could cross any line. When power is unchecked, it becomes dangerous. Second, children deserve protection. What Victoria did was target children. She deliberately used her authority to frighten children. That's not enforcement. That's abuse. Children can't defend themselves against adults in positions of power. We have to protect them. Third, one person with courage can stop injustice. Sarah could have stayed quiet. She could have minded her own business. But she recorded the abuse. She showed the family. She reported it. One person's courage led to justice. Fourth, documentation is power. The video was everything. Without that video, it would have been the Johnsons' word against Victoria's. But with the video, there was proof. Always document abuse. Always get evidence. Fifth, communities have power. The neighborhood showed up at trial. The neighborhood supported the Johnsons. The community came together and said that Victoria's behavior wasn't acceptable. Communities that stand together can change things. To Victoria Price. I hope sitting in jail gave you time to think about what you did. I hope you understand that being an HOA president doesn't give you the right to hurt children. I hope you learned that power comes with responsibility. To the Johnsons, thank you for fighting. Thank you for not accepting abuse. Thank you for protecting your children. You did the right thing to Sarah. Thank you for being brave. Thank you for standing up. Thank you for recording the evidence. You saved that family. To everyone watching, if you see a child being abused, do something. Report it. Record it. Tell someone in authority. Children can't protect themselves. We have to do it for them. If this story made you angry, if it made you want to protect children, like this video right now. Subscribe to the channel because we share stories about justice being served. We share stories about communities standing together. We share stories about bullies being held accountable. Share this video with someone you know, because people need to know that abuse has consequences. Hit that subscribe button now, and I'll see you in the next video where we celebrate more real people seeking real justice. The end.